Hey all! Amanda here with a sneak peek of the Stage 2 course, as well as my own predictions on the outcome of each of the 12 head-to-head matchups. The course consists of 6 obstacles, one of which is brand new, and all 24 athletes that earn their shot at Stage 2 will be paired off to run against each other, and the one who goes the furthest the fastest advances to Stage 3. It's as simple as that. I have a feeling this will be the most intense and possibly the most surprising part of the finals. Regardless of who advances, we're going to lose half of these talented competitors. Still not loving that aspect, but it does make things interesting. As for the course itself, we start with the return of the striding steps. This obstacle consists of several different shaped pedestals, called steps, and a rope. The steps were spaced 5 feet apart from each other and decreased in size as the athlete progressed. Competitors must sprint across the steps, jump to the rope, and swing to the next obstacle, which is the double salmon ladder. This obstacle starts with a short ladder-like object that athletes must jump to and grab a bar that is resting on the bottom rung. They then use that bar and their own body momentum and jump the bar and themselves up, catching the bar on rungs placed above. Once the competitor reaches the top rung, they then lasso with the bar to a second ladder and repeat the task. Then, we have a new obstacle called Jawbreakers. To complete this obstacle, competitors must lasso a bar into a steel trap, then repeat it 2 more times before jumping to the landing platform. Then, we have the return of the swing surfer. Competitors must run up and leap to a pendulum that was 13 feet away. This pendulum was thinner and shaped like an upside-down hammer, with one side of the foothold being longer than the other. They must then work their way around the center post and jump to a rope, which was 12 feet away. From there, they must climb up a wall using the rope, which leads to the Epic Air Surfer. This obstacle consists of a long, horizontally laid board with 2 handles underneath. Competitors must gently kip the board forward and down as they cross several tracks, each with varying lengths and gaps. They have to keep the board stable and as horizontal as possible to avoid pulling the board off the tracks. The transition between the 3rd and 4th tracks requires competitors to move the board slightly to the right as opposed to them staying on a straight path. Then we have the falling shelves. This obstacle consists of a mini trampoline and several X-shaped frames, each with a pair of small ledges attached on each frame. The 1st and 3rd shelves locked into place as they drop down, while the 2nd shelf was free swinging. Competitors must jump from the mini trampoline and catch the 1st ledge, holding on as it drops down. They must then lasso to the next shelf and absorb that drop, and then make a blind grab to the 3rd ledge, meaning the athlete cannot see the ledge and must feel for it after they jump. Finally, they must make a dismount to the landing platform to hit a buzzer. Again, each run is head-to-head competition, with only 12 athletes advancing to Stage 3. So now, here are the matchups we have in store for round 2, with my predictions on the outcomes. Feel free to play along in the comments below, and let us know your thoughts on these pairings. These runs may not be listed in order of appearance, but we will have Caden Lebsack taking on Elijah Browning. I think this is going to be one of the strongest, most exciting matches of Stage 2. Both athletes are exceptional and are only improving each season. And in this show, as we all know far too well, anything can and will happen. I can see either athlete competing this course, but in a head-to-head, I think I'll have to give the edge to Caden. We also have Evan Andrews taking on Jonathan Bang. Both of these athletes have had most of their runs digested this season, so I really don't have much opinion on either. The hosts have been having fun with Jonathan's last name and the catchphrase he screams when he completes an obstacle. However, Evan was able to complete Stage 1, whereas Jonathan was pushed through as a top non-finisher. Plus, Evan is younger and took the 2nd fastest time of the night, Stage 1, so he clearly has the energy. I'm going to go with Evan, even though I feel like I don't have much info on either athlete. Next up, we have Caleb Bergstrom taking on Kyle Soderman. I think this is going to be a fun run, as both athletes have the skill to complete this course. Kyle has more experience running on the big stage, as he's more veteran to the show, but Caleb does come from a family of ninjas, equipped with their own ninja gym, so the sport is in his blood too. Although I don't think you should ever count Kyle out, I think I'm going to have to go with my gut on this one and go with Caleb. We'll also have Speed Demon RJ Roman running against Hype Man Ben Behrens, who is here in Vegas for his first time. And although he seems like an absolute sweetheart, I think RJ is going to be at the buzzer before Ben is at the halfway point. Poor little Leah is going to be crushed. We also have newcomer Hans Hertz taking on veteran Flip Rodriguez. I can see Hans having quite a career in this sport, and I'm sure he'd be able to complete this course if he was running it solo, but what can I say? I am Team Flip 100%. I think we're going to see some fast times in Stage 2, and I expect Flip to be amongst them. We also have two more newcomers when Noah Munier, winner of one of the safety passes, takes on Alex Romer, who's had every one of his runs digested this season, although he is one of the few to earn a shot at the Mega Wall this year. Unfortunately, I feel like I really don't have enough info on either athlete to make an educated guess, but I think I'm leaning more towards Noah advancing. We'll see. We'll also see Enzo Wilson take on Luke Dillon, and my first instinct is to pick Electric Enzo to take the win, as all of Luke's runs were digested this year. However, he was able to hit a buzzer each round, so this may be a closer matchup than I had previously assumed. Enzo also hit every buzzer so far this season, so I will stick with him as the winner in this run, but just remember, anything can and will happen. We will also have Jackson Twait taking on newcomer Naxa Garamore, and while it's hard for me not to cheer for a cat lover to win, Naxa Garamore has just been too incredible his debut season and clearly has the skill and the sportsmanship to be a serious contender for years to come. While Jackson has become a better competitor each year, Naxa just seems to be a natural, and he is my pick to advance not only Stage 2, but I can also see him taking on Mount Midoriyama. I think he'd be a wonderful champion. We also have Josiah Papel taking on Austin Gray. Unfortunately, I accidentally saw the winner's name for this run, so I will not be commenting. Luckily, I did not see any of the details on what happened, but I have a feeling that each mistake on any run from any athlete is going to be a heartbreaker. We will see Vance Walker take on Ethan Barnicki. Again, due to almost all of Ethan's runs being digested, it's kind of hard for me to gauge his athleticism, although he was able to hit all his buzzers each round. However, I know Vance has the speed and consistency to complete the course. Pressure may be a factor for Ethan, whereas Vance has been competing since the juniors, so I will give the edge to Vance, although this could be an interesting race. And in what might be the most tension-filled run of the night, we'll see the flyboy Isaiah Thomas taking on Ninja Great Daniel Gill. A few years ago, I would not think twice picking Daniel to take it all, but now, in the last 2 seasons he's competed in, Daniel has made slight mistakes that have prevented him from hitting buzzers. That may sound like I'm being extra harsh with him, but when someone has been so consistent for so long, these little mistakes really stand out. I'm still going to go with Daniel for the win, but I'm also a massive fan of Isaiah, and if he was running alone, I know he could hit a buzzer, most likely with a top time. But reputation alone could unnerve any athlete running against Daniel. If anyone could put that out of their minds, I could see it being Isaiah. He has more than enough confidence in himself to focus on the goal ahead. This run should be a nail-biter. And lastly, we'll see Joe Moravsky taking on Jarrah Boyd. And again, due to all the digested runs Jarrah endured this season, it's hard for me to rank his talent. He was able to hit all his buzzers each round, like many others, but I've been waiting for Joe to win it all for years now. Although, like Daniel Gill, Joe too has had a few missteps in his last few seasons, he keeps coming back with a renewed determination. I would love to see Joe at the top of Mount Midoriyama this year. So those are some of my thoughts on the upcoming competition, along with all of my picks for the Stage 2 winners. I hate that half of these talented athletes that worked so hard to get here are getting cut from competition, but regardless of the outcome, this is going to be an extremely exciting night. Right or wrong, these are my picks for Stage 2, so if you'd like to play along, feel free to list the athletes you think will advance, then come back shortly after the show airs to see how we all did and to make predictions for Stage 3 and beyond. I hope your favorites are still in it and that they do well on Stage 2, and if you want to catch all the action, Tune in to American Ninja Warrior Season 15 every Monday night on NBC. Then come back here shortly after for your full recap of all the night's events. So until next time, enjoy the show!